Let's ride.
Right to Republican Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Chuck Grassley. By the way, we did reach out to your Democratic colleague, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Dick Durbin. He declined our offer. We just wanted to mention that, Senator. Now, we have the warrant. That was released by the Justice Department, and Donald Trump was in agreement with its release, but we don't have the affidavit. And this is what the FBI used to get the approval from the magistrate to go ahead with the raid. Should we see that affidavit?
Absolutely. Garland goes on television because he wants.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Weapons is especially sensitive and usually restricted to a small number of government officials. How exactly is it possible that they were even allowed to be handled so recklessly? And what could Trump have been doing with these documents? Like, who stands to gain? What would he be doing taking these documents out of the White House?
It's incredible. I mean, these are our nation's most precious secrets. And the fact that he took them to his private residence, out of the White House, out of control, in an unsecured environment, protected apparently by a padlock, it's just extraordinary. I was the classifying authority for Department of Defense nuclear weapons information. And the release of this information, this top secret compartmented information, by definition, would cause exceptionally grave harm to national security.
Indeed it would. And I'm just curious from you, Andy, who on the world stage would have the most to gain from this information? I mean, you think about Donald Trump's relationships with the Saudis, his relationship with the Russians, and the fact that he really appears to have no allegiance to America. He has allegiance to his sycophants, but certainly not to this democracy. If someone were to ask you, like, who stands the most to gain from this information, give me a guess of who might that be.
Eventually.
And we begin tonight with the latest on the FBI recovering top secret and even more sensitive documents from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The New York Times first reported today that in June, at least one of the former president's lawyers signed a letter asserting to the Justice Department that all material marked as classified had been returned to the government. But Monday's FBI search of the estate found 11 sets of classified documents, as well as other presidential records. The removal of that classified information after the letter was sent could explain why prosecutors cited an obstruction law in their search warrant request. The Justice Department is investigating the Southern Baptist Convention.
15 minutes later.
Justice correspondent Ken Delaney, and he's been following this closely all week long, burning the midnight oil. Good to see you, Ken. So much to cover. The search warrant essentially revealed some of the violations that the FBI was looking for. What are your key takeaways there?
So the FBI is essentially investigating three main violations. The first makes it a crime to steal government records. That one's interesting because a person convicted could be banned from holding public office for life, although some people think that.
You what?